In circle, Maths 2 circle, we will look at some 3 interesting questions from the last thing that we studied, which is about tangent segment, secant segment, angles between them, the division of chords and all that. And then we will jump to the last question set, which is the problem set 3. So let us begin with example number 3, which is on page number 81 in your textbooks. Example number 3, which is on page number 81 in your textbooks. I hope all of you are able to see the question that the page I am sharing on the screen. It says that in the figure 3.75, which is here on the right hand side, 2 circles intersect each other in points X and Y. Right? So please be careful. Where the place where X is written is not the right place. This is X, this point is X, and this point is Y. X or Y ko thoda dur likhna pada because there is not enough space to write it properly. Right? So there are 2 circles. One is on the left hand side. This is, I will show it to you, which is that circle. This is the circle, and this is the right hand side circle, and they intersect at the points X and Y. Tangents drawn from a point M. So point M is this. Tangents are drawn. Now, can you tell me the names of the tangents quickly? Tangents drawn from point M on line XY touch the circles P and Q. Chand is saying tangent is P. No, it is not the P. So M, first of all, is a point on this line XY, which passes through the point of intersection of the 2 circles. And from M, 2 tangents are drawn, each to one circle. There is a tangent drawn to the circle on the left hand side, and there is a tangent drawn to the circle on the right hand side. So one tangent is PM or MP, which is a tangent to the left hand side circle, and the other tangent is MQ or QM, which is the tangent to the right hand side circle. Yes, Karina. Yes, Chan. Correct. What we have to prove? We have to prove that PM is congruent to QM. Segment PM is congruent to segment QM. And because these are just line segments, congruence would also mean equivalence. So PM equals to QM. We can write this also, and it will be perfectly fine. And if you look at the diagram, it looks so complicated. It looks so complicated, but it is actually not. If we understand the question, if we think in the right way. Now, the PM and QM, if we see them, this is PM and this is QM. Right now, we don't know if they are equal or not, but it says proof. So humko theek hai. We can assume that they are of the same length. Okay. So PM is a tangent. QM is another tangent. Something that we know is if we draw tangents to the same circle from a point outside the circle, then the segments are congruent. I'll show that to you, what I mean, if you don't remember. So switching to whiteboard now. We know this situation where there is just one circle and we draw tangents to it from a point outside the circle. So suppose we are drawing this tangent and then we draw another tangent. So what we have learned is if this point is A, this point here is B and this point here is C. What we have learned is AB is congruent to or equal to AC. This we know. But the situation with what is given in the question is not this situation because the circles are different. But even then, something similar to this is happening. Okay? So we cannot use this theorem. We cannot use this theorem, this property. We will have to use something else. Now to use something else, we need something more. Now, although PM and QM are tangents, and we have already identified that they are tangents and they are tangent segments, and we have to prove that they are congruent, there is one more line that we haven't talked about, and that line is XY, line segment XY, or we can also say the line that passes through X, Y, and M, the line on which X, Y, and M are there. If I ask you, with respect to the circles, सर्कल के हिसाब से ये जो लाइन है सीधा परपेंडिकुलर, नॉट परपेंडिकुलर, which is vertical, and it is passing through these points X, Y, and M, what will this line be called? This is a special line. What will this be called? Is it a diameter? Is it a radius? Is it a chord? Is it a tangent? What is it? The entire line, Chand. Right? We're talking about the line, not the line segment. This line, suppose we call it L. What will L be? It's a secant, correct? It's a secant. Now, the moment we see that there is a secant, then something else should come to our mind, and that something else is tangent, secant, segments. Right? So there is a relationship between this tangent and this secant. Similarly, there is a relationship between this secant and this tangent because they first belong to the same circle on the left hand side, and then they belong to the same circle on the right hand side. Now, using the tangent secant theorem, if you remember what it means, let us see if you remember it. We studied this in the last class. Switching back to whiteboard. I cannot draw a circle like this. I will use technology and draw it properly. Okay, so there is a circle here, and so we have a secant, and then suppose we have a tangent here, and we will name those things. So A, B, C, D. Can you tell me what relationship we have learned between AD, AB, AC, BD? Yes. What is it? Try remember. Check your textbook. What is the relationship? And that relationship is called tangent secant theorem. Tangent secant segments theorem. Segments of tangent and secant. बोलिए, check करो और बताओ. This was the last property that we studied in the last class. Chances using the theorem of tangent and secant segments of tangents and secants. We can say that AB into AC equals to AD square. And this theorem, this property is on page number 79, the last page before the exercise examples. Tangent secant segments theorem. Okay. So we can use this property. What happens when we use this property in the example question? It's very clearly written that when we look at the tangent here and the secant here, we can say PM square equals to my into mx, my into mx, and PM square. Similarly, if we look at the tangent here and the secant here, we will say my into mx, and then we will say it will be equal to qm square. No rocket science, right? So PM square and qm square both are equal to the same product my and mx. तो हमको क्या लिखना था? What do we need to write to make this complete? All we have to write is qm square equals to my into mx. Therefore, from 1 and 2, tm square equals to qm square. अगर किसी का स्क्वायर बराबर है, उसका मतलब है उनका अंडरलाइन नंबर भी बराबर है. So pm equals to qm. How? You take square roots on both sides. Square root, square root. So we are proving this using tangent secant segment theorem and some basic algebra. That is it. If we now look at example number 4, it says in figure 3.76, okay, the figure is on the left hand side. PQ is a diameter. PQ is a diameter of the circle with center O. Okay. R is any point on the circle. Okay. RS is perpendicular to PQ. Okay. Perpendicular means the angle between them is 90 degree. We have to prove that SR is the geometric mean of PS and SQ. Now, most students struggle to understand what this means, geometric mean. But we should not struggle. No? We studied this geometric mean concept in ratio proportion last year. And we have studied this geometric mean. We have used this geometric mean concept in another chapter, Pythagoras theorem. Right? There was the geometric mean, theorem of geometric mean. So when it says prove that SR is the geometric mean of PS and SQ, what it means is we have to prove that SR square equals to PS multiplied by SQ. Now there are two methods to prove this that I am aware of. There can be more. Right? There is one method which the textbook is asking us to prove with. There are some hints, but there is another method जिसके कि let us think में नीचे पूछा हुआ है. Now it will be up to you तुम कौन सा method use करते हो. I will, if I tell you instead of textbook में बोला है the solution, what is written in the solution is you extend RS to intersect the circle at T. माने RS को हमने और लंबा कर दिया और वो सर्कल से T पे इंटरसेक्ट करता है. वो भूल जाओ, वो मत करो, कुछ और करते हैं. क्या करते हैं? Let us join this RQ. Also, let us join this RP. Now tell me what will be the measure of angle PRQ. All of you know this answer. The answer is staring at your face. What will be the measure of this angle? If you have read the question, you know the answer. What is the measure of angle PRQ? See, Akhilesh Raj is so fast. Yes, correct. Correct, Akhilesh. It is 90 degree. It is 90 degree because this angle is inscribed in a semicircle. Where am I getting semicircle? Because it says PQ is a diameter. If PQ is a diameter, then PRQ is a semicircle. So angle PRQ equals to 90 degrees. So now we have a right angle triangle in which we are drawing an altitude, we are drawing a perpendicular from the 90 degree vertex to the hypotenuse. यही तो हमने सीखा था in the theorem of geometric mean, that SR square or RS square will be equal to PS and SQ. So if we join PR and RQ, we can simply prove it by theorem of geometric mean. Let me remind you once again with more details. theorem of geometric mean, we said if we have a right angle triangle, I will make it look like a right angle triangle. It's not a perfect right angle triangle. And if we have an altitude from the 90-degree vertex to the hypotenuse, so suppose it's like this, and we name the vertices and the important points as A, B, C, and D, where this is 90, this is also 90. Theorem of geometric mean told us that BD square equals to AD into CD. The same is the situation now, just that the triangle is oriented in a different way. So this is one way of proving the required statement. Extend RS to intersect the circle at T. When we do that, now we have a chord RT. When we do this, we will have a chord RT. And we have a situation where OS is perpendicular to RT. So we have a chord RT and we have a line segment which is perpendicular to the chord pass from the center. Remember something that we studied last year itself and we revised this year, which is when we draw a line perpendicular from the center to the chord, then it will bisect the chord. What it means is TS equals to RS. So there is one chord which is PQ, which is the longest chord of the circle. It is the diameter. There is another chord now, which is RT. And RT is being bisected at the point S, which is the point where the two chords are intersecting. Chords intersecting inside a circle. When chords intersect inside a circle, their segments are related to each other. TS multiplied by SQ will be equal to RS multiplied by ST. If we write it on the whiteboard, suppose this is the diameter and this is the chord. Right? So we have PS. No, this is PS and this is R. This is perpendicular and we have T and we have Q here. Yes, it is Q. Now by internal division of chords, we will write RS into TS equals to PS into RS. But we have already said that TS and RS are same, they are congruent. That means we can say it is RS into RS equals to PS into QS. This should be QS. Now RS into RS is RS square, which is equal to PS into QS. Done. So we can use theorem of geometric mean from right angle triangles, Pythagoras theorem, or we can use circles, properties of the circles, chords, and we can prove it in two different ways. In question number 5 of practice set 3.5, we will be able to do this question if we understand the following things. What are the following things? When it says DF is a tangent, right? EF is a diameter and DF is a tangent. That means this angle here is 90 degrees because tangent is perpendicular to the radius at the point of contact. So where is the radius? This is the radius. HF is the radius. Any line from the center to any point on the circle will be a radius. So this is perpendicular. Also, when it says the radius of the circle is R, so HF is R, EH is also R. All the radii of a circle are congruent. They are of the same length. More importantly, we need to realize that DE is a secant, which is not given. We have to see and understand. DE is a secant because this line is intersecting the circle at 2 points, not 1. So DE is a secant, DF is a tangent, which is given, and we have a right angle triangle, Pythagoras theorem. So when we combine Pythagoras theorem with the tangent secant segment theorem, then we will be able to prove this. The proof I have already written and sent to you 2 days ago. The problem set 3, one of the biggest problem sets, or maybe the biggest problem sets on the entire chapter, in the entire textbook, follows the same structure. First question number 1, has multiple choice question, and this is how your board exam question paper will also be. Question number 1A will be multiple choice questions, 1 mark each. That does not mean that nothing needs to be written. Things needs to be written, thought, worked out before writing the answer correctly and carefully. First question. 2 circles of radii is the plural of radius. Radii 5.5 centimeter and 3.3 centimeter respectively touch each other. What is the distance between their centers? Okay. This much English is easy to understand. 2 circles, one with a radius of 5.5 centimeters, another with a radius of 3.3 centimeters, they touch each other. What is the distance between their centers? तो उनके दो जो centers होंगे उनके बीच का distance कितना होगा? Now option A says 4.4 centimeters, option B says 8.8 centimeters, and option C says 2.2 centimeters. एक distance पूछा है, तो in A gives us one distance, B gives us one distance, C gives us one. But when we look at option D, it gives us 2 distances, 2 distance. और बहुत सारे बच्चे बोलते हैं कि एक ही डिस्टेंस पूछा है, 2 डिस्टेंस कैसे होगा? वो गलत है, डी गलत है. But the question has been made so easy for you that even without calculating anything, you can say that the answer is D. Answer is D because it gives us 2 distances, not 1. That is the very reason why it is correct. Tell me why? Why do we need 2 distances but not 1? You can refer to the textbook. Check the different pages of the chapter. Why can we say, and I gave you the answer. Why is this correct? Aman is saying 2 circle. No, Aman, very wrong. Anushka is saying for interior and exterior centers of a circle, absolutely wrong. Every circle has only one unique center. There is no center outside of any circle. The centers are only inside of a circle. Chand is saying because it is telling their centers. No. Arey Baba. There is a place called Mumbai. There is a place called Pune. So the distance between Mumbai and Pune, it is 1 distance or 2 distances? There is a place called home. There is a place called school. The distance between school and home, is it one distance or two distances? So now we have two circles. One has a center, another one has another center. So there are two centers. So should it be one distance or two? Why are you saying two circles? Why are you saying interior and exterior? Why are you saying two centers? Chanda is saying it can be two. No, why? Why? Chand, there are two centers. No problem. We can have two centers. That is fine. No, Chanda. No. All these answers only tell me that we have forgotten what we have studied. We are talking about touching circles. You need to think about that. The two circles are touching each other, and no one said anything about touching circles. Do you remember what I'm talking about now? Touching circles. Why do we need two distances? Why are two distances possible? Okay, I will draw. And then you will remember, and maybe you will feel a little sad, or you will feel a little excited that you remember. So maybe this is a circle, and there is a smaller circle. So I will draw this smaller circle, and they are touching. Right? And I can show their centers also. Suppose this is a center and this is another center. So if I show the distance between the center, maybe this. We can name the centers as A and B. So the distance between A and B is distance between A and B. Then why am I saying that no, we need two distances? I am sure at least one of you will remember what is happening, what is missing. If you don't remember, then a question that you need to ask yourself, why you did not remember? So if we think of touching circles, there is another situation of touching circles with the same size. And that is when we have the circles of the same radii, 5.5 and 3.3, but the circles can touch each other internally. If they touch each other internally, then the distance between their centers will not be same as in the previous case. See, same circles touching each other, but they can touch each other in two different ways, externally or internally. Do you remember this? R1, R2. When they are touching each other externally, we add the radii. When they are touching each other externally, we subtract the radii. And that is why the two answers. One answer is 5.5 plus 3.3, which is 8.8. Second answer is 5.5 minus 3.3, which is 2.2. And that is why the correct answer is part D, 8.8 or 2.2. In all the cases, the center of a circle is definitely interior to the circle, inside the circle. The trick in this question is about touching, which unfortunately is not explicitly mentioned in the question. लिखा है क्या कहीं touching? लिखा है, हाँ लिखा है, देखो. So unfortunate कि लिखा है हम नहीं पढ़े. Number 2, two circles intersect each other such that each circle passes through the center of the other. See, we will be able to understand these questions only when we draw, only when we follow the instructions. If the distance between their centers is 12, what is the radius of each circle? Two circles intersect each other such that each circle passes through the center of the other. Circles हैं intersect कर रहे हैं, and they are intersecting in such a way that circle A passes through the center of circle B, and circle B passes through the center of circle A. Let us draw. I am drawing. Are you? First circle, suppose it is this circle. Second circle, suppose it is this circle. And it says they are intersecting such that they pass through the centers of each other. That means center and center. And it says the distance between their centers is 12. Okay. So what is 12? This is 12. This is 12. Now the question is, what is the radius of each circle? बताओ radius क्या है circle का? Very good, Prachi. Thank you, Akhilesh Rajesh. Correct. It is 12. No calculation needed. Radius means what? From a line segment which joins the center to any point on the circle. So if you look at the left hand side circle, A is the center, B is a point on the circle, so radius is 12. If you look at the right hand side circle, then B is the center, A is a point on the circle, again the radius is 12. So the answer is 12. So in the previous question, it looked like कि आंसर में एक वैल्यू आएगा बट दो आ रहे थे. In this question, it looked like the answer will have two values, but it is only one value, which is 12. Good, well done. बहुत जल्दी हो गया ये question. Good. Chan and Anushka, it is not 6. I have already explained why. It is not 6. Yes. A circle touches all sides of a parallelogram. So the parallelogram must be a... See, we are in the chapter of circles and the question is about quadrilaterals. Why am I saying quadrilaterals? Because parallelogram is a quadrilateral. We haven't studied quadrilateral this year at all. The focus is on triangle and circle. Quadrilaterals we studied last year. So highly unlikely to a question I, but for a circle to touch all sides of parallelogram, all sides, let us try and see. What are the different types of parallelogram? The different types of parallelogram are given in the question. One, it says, is a rectangle. Okay, let us draw a rectangle. This can be a rectangle. Now, if I try to draw a circle which touches all sides, already you should be stopping me. Sir, don't do it. It will not work because all the sides are not of the same length. This is not a perfect circle. This is already a ellipse. So maybe we will have this. It will touch 3 sides. But can we have any circle touching all the 4 sides of a rectangle? No, it is not possible. It is not possible. So Prachi is saying square, Chanda is saying square. Okay, let us try a square. I hope this is a square. And if I draw a circle inside it. This should be possible. This should be possible. But is square the correct answer? Yes, it seems to be possible. Let's check at the back of the answer. Textbook, is square the correct answer for this question? Problem set 3, question number 1, part 3. Is square the answer? It is not. I hope you heard, you listened when I said we are not able to draw a circle which will touch all the four sides of a rectangle, because the sides are not of same length. So it is not enough for a quadrilateral to be a parallelogram. It has to have all the four sides congruent. So what is that kind of parallelogram in which all the four sides are congruent? It is not a square. A square is a special parallelogram in which the all four sides are congruent and all angles are also congruent. But the parallelogram which has all the four sides congruent, it is a rhombus. It is a rhombus, and we can draw that. We can draw it. How and why? It's a very interesting answer. Why it is rhombus? How we need to think about it. We don't need to draw the parallelogram. Now I will give you another way to think about it. So here is a circle, and let us try draw tangents to it from outside the circle. So this can be a tangent, and there can be another tangent like this, right? And we know from the theorem of tangent segments that the lengths of these segments are same. So if we have this as A, if we have this as B, and if we have this as D, you will soon understand why I did it like that. And this angle is not 90 degrees. It is very easy to now imagine another point like कैसे रोम्बस बनाइए पूरा, अभी बना देते हैं. Now if you think of a circle inside it, so this circle can also touch all the four sides. Something like this. Not perfectly done. What you see here is, this is what I wanted your attention on, is these are tangent segments. If this is B, if this is B, if this is A, B, this will be C, and this will be D. This will be C, and this will be D. So this side, this segment, this segment, this segment, they will all be congruent. Similarly, this segment, this segment, this segment, and this segment, they will also be congruent. So we actually need a rhombus. If it is a square, better, but rhombus is a enough answer. And every square is also a rhombus. So the answer is part 3, option 3, a rhombus. Number 4. Length of a tangent segment drawn from a point which is at a distance of 12.5 centimeters of the center of a circle is 12 centimeters. Oh my God. Find the diameter of the circle. Again, a question for which we will have to draw a rough diagram. There is a circle, there is a tangent. The length of the tangent, be careful, there are two distances given. Read the question once again and tell me what is the length of the tangent segment? What is the length of the tangent segment? Question number 4, part 1. Question number 1, part 4. Correct. Length of the tangent segment is 12.5. So how will this look? When we draw this, we may go a step nearer to solve. So when we draw the diagram, we see that the distance between the center and the point is 12.5. The length of the tangent segment AB is 12. Because it is a tangent, if we draw a radius BC, then it will be perpendicular. We have a right angle triangle. We can use Pythagoras theorem to find the radius. And when we double it, we will be able to find the diameter. So it will need some calculations. If two circles are touching externally, how many common tangents of them can be drawn? Aha! We have studied this, although it is not there in the textbook. We have studied this. Two circles are touching each other externally. How many common tangents are possible? Thank you for your honest answers, Akhilesh and Rajesh. The correct answer is 3, not 2. The correct answer is 3. Prachi, correct. This is not a speed test. This is, all your exams will be about correctness. So suppose these are the two circles touching each other externally. And if we think of common tangents, देखते हैं कितना बनता है? मैंने दिखाया था ये हमने किया था. Suppose we are drawing the tangent from here. Is this a common tangent? It is not. Is this a common tangent? It is not. They are not common tangents. So where are the common tangents? One common tangent is simply this, जिसको अखिलेश और राजेश ने count नहीं किया. Another common tangent will be like this. Similarly, the third common tangent, if I draw properly, will be below. That's all. I'm very sorry, I'm not able to draw this properly. I'm still trying. Okay, अब शायद हो जाएगा. Yes. These are the 3 common tangents when the circles are touching each other externally. Answer is 3. Question number 1, part 6. Angle ACB is inscribed in arc ACB of a circle with center O. If angle ACB is 65 degree, what is the measure of arc ACB? Make a guess. Tell me what will be the answer. What will not be the answer? We have a theorem, one of the most important theorems in this chapter, and unfortunately there was no question related to this theorem in example. Also in the practice set, or no, there were questions. I'm sorry, there were questions. Inscribed angle and intercepted arc. What is the relationship between them? The theorem is called inscribed angle theorem. Yes, now you are correct, Akhilesh or Rajesh. The central angle, the intercepted arc, will be 2 times that of the inscribed angle. तो क्या हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है? Once again, if we want to visualize. So we have a circle, and in that circle we have an inscribed angle. This is the angle. So what does the question now mean? When the question says angle ACD is inscribed in the arc ACB, yes, of course, how else it will be? Inscribed angle will have the vertex on the circle. So the arc is ACB. Now it is intercepting the arc AB. It is intercepting the arc AB. Okay, this arc. Now, if this is 65 degrees, the arc, the measure of the intercepted arc will be 2 into 65, will be 130 degrees. This much is correct. But if you look at the question says, find the measure of arc ACB, not AB, but ACB. So this is not the correct answer. The correct answer would be 360 degrees minus 130 degrees remaining arc, which is 230 degrees. Question number 7. Question number 1, part 7. Chords AB and CD of a circle intersect inside the circle at point P, point E. AE is 5.6, EB is 10, CE is 8, and find ET. So now when I switch to the whiteboard, I will not be able to see the textbook. You will be able to see the textbook. So you will help me draw this diagram. And while you are helping me, you can also draw it on your own in your notebook and find the answer. First of all, we have a circle. That much I remember. Not a line. We have a circle. Tell me the name of the first chord. What is the name of the first chord? I hope you are able to help me with this. If you can't, then I will look at the textbook on my own. Okay, Karina is saying the one chord is AB. Okay, I will draw that chord. Thank you, Karina. And another chord is CD. Okay. So randomly, I'm drawing two chords. Just randomly. And they have specific names. So I will give them names. A, B, C, and D. What is their point of intersection? That I remember. It is E. It is E. Now look at the question and tell me, AE diya hai kya? There are 4 segments of the chords now. Is AE given? Yes, it says
5.6.
Thank you. 5.6. Then B is given. Yes, B is given, which is 10. Then CE is given, which is 8. And what is asked is DE. Okay, here. When you look at the diagram, you already know what you need to do. Hang on. What theorem or what property, what is it that we will use? It's something related to division of chords. What is the full name? There is one more word.
Division of internal chord.
No. All chords are internal, Chan. Internal division of chords. Internal division of chords, which will tell us that DE. मैंने DE पहले लिखा क्योंकि D हमको पता करना है. DE into CE will be equal to. अब हमने DE लिया तो पहले हम DE लेंगे. DE into A. This you need to write it carefully. फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, फिर भी अच्छे से लिखो. Because D into C and D into A. We can write it in any order. So DE we don't know. CE is 8. DE is 10. क्या लिख रहा हूँ? DE is 10 and AE is 5.6. So our DE will be equal to 10 into 5.6 divided by. Now हमारे दिमाग की घंटी बजनी चाहिए. That 8 sevens are 56. So this is 0.7. And when we multiply 7 with 0.7 with 10, we get 7. So the answer is option A, 7. We could have also done it in a different way. We could have said, now I will write it in different ink. Maybe you will find that easier. We could have said 10 into 5.6 by 7. So 10 into 5.6 by 8, sorry. So 10 into 5.6 is 56 divided by 8 equals to 7. This is also fine. Both are correct. Up to you. This is easy. Question number 1, part 8. We will try to complete 8, 9 and 10 also. In a cyclic quadrilateral ABCD, what happens in a cyclic quadrilateral? Twice the measure of A is thrice the measure of angle C. Find the measure of angle C. What happens in cyclic quadrilateral ABCD? The definition of cyclic quadrilateral is a quadrilateral whose all four vertices pass through are all the four vertices lie on one particular circle. That is the definition of cyclic quadrilateral. So we don't need to draw a circle for this diagram, but just to ensure that we have a cyclic quadrilateral, if we draw like this, no one is still telling me what happens in a cyclic quadrilateral. I told you what is a cyclic quadrilateral. I'm asking you what happens in a cyclic quadrilateral. So if we have this quadrilateral like this, all the four vertices are on a particular circle, then there is a property related to this cyclic quadrilateral. Tell me what that property is. Opposite sides are congruent. Absolutely wrong. Opposite angles are supplementary. That is right. So opposite angles are B and D and A and C. Do we need to think about B and D here? Absolutely not, because the question gives us information about A and C. So because it is a cyclic quadrilateral, we will know that angle A plus angle C equals to 180 degrees. They are supplementary. There is a lot of things that we need to know to solve the questions, and we will know when we practice, when we study. Just studying is not enough. Practicing and practicing regularly is required. Then it says A is thrice the measure of angle C. So A का जो measure है, it is 3 times the angle C. So instead of writing angle A, I can write 3 angle C equals to, not equals to, 3 angle C plus angle C equals to 180 degrees. 3 chocolates, 1 more chocolate. So 4 angle C equals to 180 degrees. So angle C equals to 180 degrees divided by 4. Tell me how much is this? 180 divided by 4. बताओ 45. Yes, correct answer. लेकिन सर ने इतनी बड़ी गलती एक जगह की है, किसी ने कुछ बोला ही नहीं. It says angle A is, कहीं किया है कि नहीं वो भी पता नहीं, सर को भी पता नहीं. A is thrice the measure of angle C. तो सर ने जो लिखा है वो सही लिखा है कि नहीं? एंगल C ऐसा है ना, सही है ना? चेक कर लो. आई थिंक आई हैव डन इट राइट. चेक एंड कंफर्म कि A के जगह 3C लिखना था कि C के जगह 3A लिखना था. Angle A is thrice the angle of angle C. So I wrote angle A equals to 3 angle C. कुछ कुछ लोग ऐसे भी करेंगे, they will say this is x, this is 3x. अभी भी लेकिन कुछ गलत, ये क्वेश्चन है ही नहीं. The question really says, I'm now writing it with red, twice of angle A equals to thrice of angle C. The question actually says twice of angle A is equal to thrice of angle C. See how the question becomes interesting. So 2 angle A equals to 3 angle C. So our angle A by angle C equals to 3 by 2. So we will say angle A, let angle A equals to 3x and angle C equals to 2x. Ratio proportion. Then we will get 3x plus 2x equals to 180 degrees. 5x equals to 180 degrees. So x is 180 degrees by 5. We need angle C. Angle C is 2x. So 2x equals to 180 divided by 5 into 2. Now calculate and see. कितना आता है? So when you do this calculation, you will get 72 degrees, right? So this is what is there in the question, but the question can also be like this. The correct question, the correct solution is written in red. So for part 9 of question number 1, we have a circle. We have a circle and there are 3 arcs on 3 points on it. And the 3 points are such that the measure of 2 arcs are same 120 degrees. Something like this, I guess. A, B, C. It says the measure of arc AB equals to 120 degrees. So this is 120 degrees. The measure of arc BC is 120 degrees. ये भी दे दिया है, and there is no common point between the 2 arcs, means they are adjacent to each other. Now if we draw red eye, not necessary, but if we draw the red eye, अगर ये एक रेडियस होगा, ये एक रेडियस होगा, ये एक रेडियस होगा. Just guess and tell me what will be the measure of the arc AC. Actually, right now you should be able to precisely calculate. The total angle is 360. We have already used up 240 degrees. So what is left with us is 120 degrees. So this is also 120 degrees. Simple calculation. The question is about the triangle ABC. Let us draw that triangle ABC. The question is what kind of triangle it is. The arcs are congruent. That means the corresponding chords are congruent. पढ़ा ना हमने? The moment we found that arc AC is also 120 degrees, so we realized arc AB is congruent to arc BC is congruent to arc CA. Now the corresponding chords are AB, BC, CA. What is that theorem? Chords of congruent arcs are congruent. If these chords are congruent, which are the sides of a triangle, obviously this is a equilateral triangle. It's an equilateral triangle. Last multiple choice question of this chapter, part 10 of question number 1. Segment XZ is a diameter of a circle. Point Y lies in its interior. Circle के interior में. How many of the following statements are true? Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let us see that situation. क्या बोला जा रहा है यहाँ पे? Here is a circle. Here is a diameter. And the name of the diameter is XZ. XZ. It says Y is in the interior of the circle. मान लो यहाँ पर. Now the question is about the angle XYZ. यही है ना? This angle. उसके बारे में. Before you say anything about the angle XYZ, now remember, I'm going to draw another angle. You tell me what will be the measure of that angle. If I draw this angle, beta, the angle in red, what is the measure of this angle? The angle in red. If you want, I can put a name there. A. XAZ. What will be the measure of angle XAZ? Angle XAZ will be 90 degrees because it is an angle inscribed in a semicircle. Now compare XAZ with XYZ. XAZ को और दबा देंगे तब जाकर बनेगा XYZ. और तो कोई तरीका नहीं है. And what happens when we push A down? जो दो रेज हैं एंगल के, वो और चौड़े हो जाएंगे कि और पास आ जाएंगे? क्या होगा? The angle will increase or decrease. हमने अगर एंगल को दबा दी. We had a similar question. And we said, suppose there is a point outside the circle. I'll try to remind you about that question. And there the name of the point was T. Chand is saying the angle will decrease. नहीं, तुम दो पेन लो, दोनों पेन को ऐसे रखो और उसको नीचे दबाओ, क्या होगा? वो तो बढ़ेगा ना. नाप के देखो. So this angle here will be perfectly 90 degrees. This will be less than 90 degree and this will be more than 90. So definitely this is going to be an acute angle. No, obtuse angle, more than 90 degree. So obtuse angle. On the circle, right angle. Outside the circle, acute angle. Inside the circle, obtuse angle. Because XZ is the diameter. Now look at the statements that are given in the question. First one, it is not possible that XYZ is an acute angle. Correct? It cannot be an acute angle. Can it be? No. XYZ cannot be, yes, it cannot be an acute angle. That means the statement is right, right? Yes, it cannot be an acute angle. XYZ cannot be a right angle, correct? XYZ is an obtuse angle. ये नहीं हो सकता, ये होगा ही होगा. Yes, it is an obtuse angle. It is not an acute angle. It is not a right angle. It is an obtuse angle. And then we cannot make a definite statement about the measure of XYZ. कितना actually है वो हम नहीं बता सकते, but we can say whether it is acute, obtuse or right. So definitely 3 are correct. Definitely 3 are correct. Now for the fourth one, it's a very controversial question. Definite statement about the measure. Measure here it is referring to the exact measure. ठीक है, 90 से ज्यादा है, 91 है कि 92 है कि 100 है, 120 है, we don't know. So actually this is also correct. So my answer is D, all the 4 statements are true. Textbook is saying the meaning of the last statement is, it's not about we need exact measure, but we can say something very definitely. We can say that yes, it is not a right angle, it is not an acute angle, it has to be an obtuse angle. So this is a definite statement that we are making. So ये कहना कि हम उसके बारे में कुछ नहीं बोल सकते is wrong, and the answer is only 3. And that is why I said this is a controversial question. The meaning of this line, 4th option, is, can we say anything with certainty about this angle? Yes, we can. We cannot say that we cannot say anything, right? So 3 statements are correct. The 4th one is wrong. We will stop here. As part of your homework, you will complete the questions that we discussed in the class today, and you will solve as many questions as you can from the problem set for this chapter, and solve the problems in the order they are there in the exercise. Don't skip. और पीछे वाले questions अगर नहीं होते हैं, बिल्कुल मत घबराओ. After the class, by the end of the day, I will tell you exactly which questions are in the syllabus and which questions are not in the syllabus for board exam. That is it.